Today, I'm going to talk about time management. Time, it's something that everybody wants more of, and we can't quite figure out how to get more of it yet. We all have the same 24 hours, right? So, how do we utilize what we have? Well, let's break it down just to see how you can get more out of your time. And time management, like Dana said, is something I definitely pride myself in. I am a mom of 7. I am a grandma of 6. I have a husband and 2 businesses that we run. So I need to maximize my time, being as productive as I can and using my time as wisely as possible. So I want to give you my tips on how I stay consistent, efficient, productive, and on track with my schedule. So trust me when I say that it hasn't been always easy for me. Even a couple years ago, I had to revamp my time management skills because I noticed that when my kids wanted a lunch date, I didn't have time in my schedule for them. I had to book them out weeks in advance, which was just absolutely unacceptable. So now I have this amazing work schedule. I have a balanced family life, and I've had the best year in sales with little to no stress. So last year in 2020, I sold $370,000 with only 5 events for the whole year because everything got canceled. I completed strings of 5K, 4K, 3K, 2K, multiple 1Ks. I'm currently at 115 weeks in a row at 1K. So far this year, January, February, March, all my best months. And I've even had the best week of my career this month. So I am so excited to share with you how this all works in my world. And I hope that you can take away a little something that you can implement in your business that can maybe make the shift for you. So let's just dive right in. Let's start with intention. Start every day with intention. So how do you do this? Well, it all starts in the morning with focus and getting that you time in the morning that's so important. What is your morning routine like? Have you looked at your morning routine? What does your intention time look like? It should be about making you better. So start with exercise. Move your body 30 minutes a day, every single morning, whether this is walking or running or dancing or weights or yoga or whatever it is. You've just got to start the day with moving your body 30 minutes a day. After that, you need to think about what you're fueling your body with. What does your breakfast plan look like? I know that seems so trivial, but it's not. Are you starting the day with a Red Bull and Cheetos? You might want to rethink that, right? So are you taking your vitamins? Do you take protein shakes? Are you having a good balanced breakfast? It will help you be more clear. Start your morning with 8 ounces of water. Hydration is key. Then meditation or reading. Now, I will have to admit that the meditating thing, still working on that a little bit. It kind of makes me want to fall asleep. So still working on that. But what I choose to do when I'm getting ready after I've exercised is I am listening to audiobooks, YouTube videos, motivational videos, podcasts. What am I filling my mind with as I'm getting ready for my day? And then when I go upstairs to do my protein shake, to have my breakfast, that's when I'm reading and I'm journaling. And the last thing I do is I look at my task list for the day, my must-dos. How do I need to get focused on these? What are the most important things that are going to be needle movers for me that day? And that leads me right into your calendar and time blocking. Now, this has been pretty essential for me. Like I said in the beginning, I realized early on a couple of years ago that I would just fill all my open space with more work. I love what I do. And so if there was open space, I would just start to fill it. And then when the kids wanted to have lunch or a friend wanted to have coffee, I just didn't have any available time. And so I would have to turn them down. Now, whether you use a digital calendar or a paper planner, a calendar is extremely essential to running a successful business and to having a life. Now, I want both of those. I love work and I love my life. So I have to have systems. And one of those systems is time blocking. Now, time blocking is just a matter of blocking out the time in your calendar of where you want to spend it. So I'm going to give you a list of a few things that I time block. Obviously, it's not going to be the entire list. And there may be things that you need to have in your list that I'm not going to mention, but these will get you started. So number one thing is my workout. If it's not in the calendar, it's not happening. So I know that I'm the only one that sees that, but it's super important to have that scheduled. Available appointment times. These are extremely important because this is where I fell into the trap of having all that white space and just filling it wherever. Now I run my business. My clients don't run my business. So my available appointment times are set in stone. Phone time, lunch breaks, those coffee chats, networking meetings, speaking engagements, trade show, mall shifts, professional growth and skill setting time, you need to block that time out. Otherwise, it's easy to push it off into something else. So make sure those things are scheduled. If you work different layers of the business like I do, you do well to block out the times and dates for working on each of those layers. So I'm going to give you a little example of what my week looks like. Mondays are kind of my wrap up last week and start this week. So Monday mornings, I'm doing mentoring. I have my coaching calls. I'm wrapping up my last week. I'm doing my chargebacks. I'm also an event coordinator. So I have to wrap up all of those things. Thank you cards go out. And then in the afternoon on Mondays, that's when I do my virtual no contact service calls. That's what those are available for. Phone time happens every single day in my world. Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be realtor and business gift working for those 2 days. And then Thursday and Friday is service events or service calls. Saturday and Sunday is going to be events unless those are canceled. If I'm not working a trade show, I'm not working on the weekend. So super important to figure out where you want to work, which parts of your business in the week. Now, let's talk about distractions and procrastination. So this is probably one of the most important things that you can identify in your business. I like to get to my office around 7:30 every single morning. So that way I can have that first hour to check my emails, to pay my bills, to post on social, to do all of my things and get them done. It helps me to take care of my things so that way I can fully take care of my clients. It also helps so that those things aren't a distraction during my day. Then my internal clock goes off at 8:30 and I start my work day. Times are sort of relative. You can use your time frames, but you get the point. Now, social media is probably the biggest distraction right now. And I love social media. So I used to think that on my lunch break, that was a great time to go in and respond and comment and post and do all of those things. But I have since changed my mind. Now, here's the thing. Social media is super important. It's an extreme avenue for us in sales right now. That being said, it's also a huge distraction and time waster. So here's my advice. If you have a business page, go ahead and schedule your posts as far out as you can. Then when you have to add a post here or there, it's super easy, not time consuming. You just throw it up there and you're done. I recommend taking an hour out of your week, every week, just to schedule some more posts on your business page. Now, if you have a personal Facebook page, you know that you can't schedule posts, right? So what do? Well, I recommend posting because you have to post during the day, post in the evenings, post on the weekends. You have to do that. But here's where discipline is going to come in. You need to post and then get off of Facebook. So no scrolling. Write that down. No scrolling during business income producing hours. Trust me when I tell you that those notifications are going to be there at the end of your workday. They will, I promise. So just post and go. Now, text and phone calls from family and friends, those can also be a hard distraction to overcome. So it is my advice to have conversations with those people and just let them know that you're going to be working. These are your work times, and you won't be responding during those times unless it's an emergency. You can answer at breaks, at lunch, after work, whatever. It is a hard conversation to have, but it's a super important one if you want to be staying focused at your day of work. Now, as far as procrastination goes, this is something that I think everybody struggles with. So you need to set yourself up for success. You have to have a clean work environment, number one. You want to have your snacks and water readily available to keep your energy levels up, and then that'll stop you from leaving your workspace so much to go and get a snack or go and get a drink of water. Also have your task list readily available next to you so that you know what those most important things are, and you can take a pen and a paper and you can just check them off. There's something satisfying about checking those things off with your pen. Now, if you're struggling with procrastination, you guys, set a reward for yourself. So say that the procrastination that you're having a hard time with, which all salespeople do, is phone calls, right? Maybe you just want to do 20 calls a day, 5 days in a row. That's great. What's your reward going to be if you hit those 100 calls by the end of the week? Is it going to be a pedicure, a new pair of shoes, new nails, whatever it might be? Just make sure that your reward matches your challenge. So no buying a new car because you made 100 calls. You're going to have to do a little bit more work than that to get there. And that leads you right into accountability. So accountability will help you with your procrastination. It'll also help you stay on track and be consistent. So get an accountability partner. I've had one for years, 12 years in the business, you guys. I still need an accountability partner. Join a GroupMe group. For accountability. Post your daily PDI. I know that there's several of these groups going on right now. So ask somebody, how do I get involved in that so that you can do your daily PDI, which is basically like a time sheet. You got to clock out of work. That's what I view that as. So I actually write my stats down in my notebook every day. It helps keep me focused. It helps me see how many calls and texts and emails I've made, how many speaking engagements I've done, how many appointments I've set or completed. Where did my hours go in my day? How was my time spent? You can't measure what you don't have the metrics for. Now, let's talk about balance. That's one of the things that I've had to learn. So make sure that you are scheduling time for you. It's proven that when you come back from rest and relaxation, that you are just definitely more focused and more productive. Now, COVID has taught me a ton about balance. Oh, COVID. Sorry, my phone just rang. COVID. So before COVID, I was working. I had a great schedule and everything. Then COVID came in and everything got canceled. So I had all of this open space, all of this open time. And me, like many others, were worried about where is that going to come from? Where's the CPO going to come from? Where's the sales going to come from, right? For how we're going to keep our businesses afloat. So I found it very easy to just throw myself into work, creating more sales, creating more CPO, just more. And it quickly leads to burnout. So fortunately, I was able to recognize this quite quickly. And I decided that I was going to make a work schedule that worked better for me and my family and my business. So I decided I was going to stop working at a specific time every single day. Just done. I was done. I took more vacations. I planned more road trips, more weekend mini vacations, more family game nights. And you guys, when I came back to work, I was so focused and more efficient and more productive. And I ended the year having my best year in 12 years because I was having more fun and I was more energized and I was more focused. So this will lead me into delegation. This is something I've had to learn how to do because I am a control freak. You guys, I still rolo my own orders. There's not very many CSPs that do that anymore, but I'm a control freak. So here's my best advice in figuring out what you can delegate. And I do this several times throughout my year, but make a list of everything that needs to happen to run your business. And when I say everything, I mean everything from, do you need to go buy Band-Aids and tear them up for your thank you cards? Do you need to shred order forms, service appointments, demos, speaking engagements? I mean everything. Once you have this list, go through and circle the things that only you can do. So your demos, your service calls, your speaking engagements, those things are only things that you can do. Anything that stresses you out completely to turn over, that should be circled as an only you. Anything that you are okay with not being done exactly like you would do it, delegate it. Thank you cards. I sign every single one of my thank you cards, but I am totally fine with my assistant handwriting out every single thank you card. That is something that I know it's probably not going to sound exactly how I would write it, but I'm okay with it. And my clients love them. Now, if you're not to the point where you need to delegate, that's okay. Keep this in mind for when you do. It'll make the transition a lot easier and your business will run even more smoothly. I wish I would have known this 12 years ago. Lastly, you guys, I always end my day by setting up the next one. I wrap up my day looking at my stats and my task list. What didn't I get done today? Prioritize the next day's tasks. I clean my desk completely up, set everything up for the next day, and then I shut off work so that I can be completely 100% present with my family. So let's go over really quick to summarize so that you can put a plan together for you. Remember, you guys, you don't have to reinvent the wheel here. We just need to pick one thing and work on that. So make a list of your morning routine, post it somewhere where you can see it. You can make it a habit, do it every single day. Wake up at the same time every single day. That might be different for each person, but wake up at the same time every day. Now, if you're not a morning person and you want to be, here's a little pro tip. Just set your alarm 5 or 10 minutes back and get used to that for a week, and then do it 5 or 10 minutes more. You don't have to go from waking up at 8 o'clock to waking up at 5 o'clock. The burnout will happen, and I want you to succeed. So take time for you in the morning. That's super important. Pick out which type of calendar you're going to use and go through. I challenge you to go through the rest of this campaign and time block out your schedule for the rest of this campaign. That shouldn't be very hard. It's only about a month left. And then once you get that done, then add a month or 2 onto that. But I challenge you to do that. Figure out what you can delegate at this point in your business. What are your distractions? And make those lists. We all need lists in our life. List out your goal and your reward to avoid procrastination, but make sure that your reward matches your challenge. And then just remember that balance is necessary. You need to make a schedule. And that is what I have for you guys today. I really appreciate you guys having me on here and investing time in your business.